Hey guys, T-Shiver here, how are you doing today? So I hope you've had a wonderful Christmas, and I've had a very busy time for the last couple of weeks, hence the fact that I've made absolutely zero videos. But of course, I've been keeping up to date with the Yu-Gi-Oh! News and what's been going on. Lots of interesting things have been happening. Of course, I cannot be making these videos when I've got other things that I need to do in my life. But anyway, so Secrets of Eternity, there's been some nice leaks of TCG exclusives and some OTG imports, stuff like Swords of Revealing Light, you know, the monster thing that I talked about a year ago. They're finally coming to the TCG, which is nice. But obviously, my personal thing that I enjoy about the new archetypes that are coming out, UA is getting some more support. This was obviously announced about a couple of weeks ago, so we knew it was coming. We knew it was going to be 2 effect monsters, and it was going to be a spell card. We thought it would be something like a field spell or a continuous spell, something to help with the consistency. Whether or not that's true, we're going to find out right now. So, as the first one we're going to look at is a level 8 warrior, UA Playmaker. You can special summon this card from your hand by returning a UA monster you control, so it's the same typical thing as we always have to do. When a UA monster you control declares an attack, you can have this card lose exactly 800 attack, and if it does, the attacking monster gains 800. So if you combine this with Jersey, you can have a monster that gains basically 1600 attack because it doubles the damage, which is really nice. So it can be the deciding amount of damage that actually wins the game for you. Obviously, if it attacks again, then you will get to do another 800 points of damage. So every time that monster attacks, you can just keep using Playmaker's effect. Combined with Jersey, then you get a really good bonus of a monster that, like, basically a Mighty Slugger that has basically like 5,000 attack and can attack twice. You know, it's pretty broken. So Playmaker is kind of iffy, situational card, but I guess it's okay. I mean, it has its niche with the Jersey, so I don't know whether or not it'll be played, but I mean, it's a nice card anyway, but I'm not sure if it's what we're looking for. And another one is the UA Linebacker. This is kind of okay. It kind of has a bit more of a defensive thing, and I'm guessing every card that you're going to get, for instance, Mighty Slugger was the attack, and then Perfect Ace was the defense. And then we had midfielder being the kind of enabler, with goalkeeper being the defensive, and then we've kind of got the attack and defensive thing again. So with linebacker, level 7, 2700 defense, which is pretty solid. It's got the typical special summon clause on it. And once per turn when your opponent special summons a monster, you can negate their effects permanently and change their battle position. So if your opponent tries to go on the offensive against your 2700, linebacker allows you to basically stop their monster in their tracks for 1 turn, and allows you to basically go on the offensive afterwards. So you can put them in a difficult position, and then you can negate their effects. Of course, that doesn't negate things that activate in the grave, so it's kind of not really that useful. But linebacker is definitely more useful than goalkeeper, because even if you get over goalkeeper by just sheer force, then that's annoying. But linebacker actually stops a monster in their tracks before they become a force, because obviously a lot of the effects activate in main phase 1. So linebacker actually does a really good job in stopping your opponent from making plays, while goalkeeper is like reactive, as opposed to linebacker, which is actually more preventative, which is what we would need for a deck to be more successful. And the last card is kind of confusing. A lot of people don't understand it too much, but UA Tácticas para Ganar, which is winning tactics. Now, if you control 2 or more UA monsters with different names, you can shuffle as many monsters on the field as possible into the deck, and then special summon UA monsters of different names from your deck up to the number of cards shuffled into your main deck, but they cannot attack. Then your opponent can special summon monsters from their deck up to the number of cards shuffled into their main deck. Okay, so basically what you want to take from this is that it's a kind of a tricky card, because the card itself implies that you will be able to do some random things like summon some monsters, and then your opponent will try to stop you, and then you activate winning tactics and do some shenanigans, and then you'll be left with a really formidable field. I feel like this card gets more use if you use it on your opponent's turn, simply because your opponent gets to special summon monsters for free from their deck up to the amount of monsters shuffled back into the main deck. So if this card is used on the defensive on your opponent's turn, you'll be able to target monsters that they special summon from the extra deck, and they won't get to do any special summoning, because all the monsters that they had on their field was from the extra deck. So it's basically like Xyz Encore, except they don't get anything from it. So it seems like a really good idea if you use it correctly. And of course, if you use it on your opponent's turn, you get to bypass the attacking restriction which this card places. Otherwise, you'd be able to attack, shuffle back in, attack. It just wouldn't be very fair. So I can understand why they put that restriction on there, but winning tactics is supposed to be a defensive card. You're supposed to use it as a last resort, but of course they're all kind of iffy. Like, I don't really know if I like all of these cards at all. I just feel that they all kind of suck. So they don't really deal with the main issue that the deck has, which is basically consistency and power that's consistent. Because this deck, it's just kind of giving you more tools, but it's not giving you a way to actually get to them. It's nice that, you know, the UAs can inherently make level 8s in one card, you know, it's pretty good. So Playmaker on its own, when it's actually summoned, becomes a 3100 with UA Stadium up. But the card itself doesn't actually do anything that beneficial for the deck whatsoever, so you wouldn't even play it because it's just not that strong. You may use one instead of a slugger, but you would still want to run 2 or 3 sluggers so that you can get the jersey combo off, because it's the only thing that the deck can do at the moment. Linebacker is just good. It's better than goalkeeper, so goalkeeper's now irrelevant, and considering that the deck has only 6 monsters, you can't start pushing deck cards away. You need to have as many versatile cards as possible in the archetype, so that there's actual versatility and people can actually come up with their own builds. But if you just instantly invalidate one card out of a 6-card archetype, then it's kind of disgusting, isn't it? That you can just, oh, one set later we'll release something that's better for it. It's like, it's not it's a 5-card archetype now, not 6. So linebacker is kind of iffy in that sense, but I like it more than goalkeeper just because it negates and stops them from attacking. So it does a lot more than people probably give it credit for. And of course, your opponent special summons on your turn, then you can use its effect, you know, every turn. So that's really nice. And the last one, winning tactics. I just feel like it doesn't quite do enough. And if you've actually played UAs, you'll notice that if you control 2 or more UA monsters of different names, it's actually really hard. If you actually pull that off, then that's great. You can use something like Feast of the Wild to get back 2 level 5s, and then you can do some tactics. But that's on your turn, and then that's really slow, and it doesn't really seem to deal with the main problem of the deck, which is that we need to get to the combo pieces faster. We need a faster deck, we need faster win conditions, we need a way to get to our cards faster. So I'm getting the feeling that these support is the same support problem that I mentioned back in my last video, which was talking about how archetypes will get really decent support for 2 sets, and then after that set, after the 3rd set, the support gets worse because they're trying to phase out an archetype so that new archetypes can come in and they can cash on it, and it basically keeps the meta fresh, but at the same time people only get 3 months or 6 months of use out of a particular archetype. And I hope this isn't the same with this, because this deck never got to see the light of day in the meta. So there was just like, this deck had nothing going for it initially, and we were waiting for some really decent support. I hope this isn't just the end of the line for them, because I feel like if you just deal with a couple of issues with the deck, it can be really strong, and it has a lot of cool artwork, and it's just a really nice archetype that's really cheap to play. I don't understand why you would keep it cheap and then just give them nothing to use. This card is not that useful. Playmaker is not very good. Linebacker is okay, but goalkeeper wasn't even played in the first place. It doesn't do anything to facilitate how the deck is played right now. So it's as if Konami isn't actually paying attention to how people play it, and therefore they're releasing support that isn't facilitating that. It's the same as El Shadow Wendigo. It doesn't actually facilitate Shadows in any sense of form and how it's played by the player base. So it's as if Konami isn't paying attention, which means that we can basically drop the archetype because we know Konami isn't actually caring about the player base whatsoever. So that's my opinion on it, and if you think that your opinion differs from that, I'd love to hear your comments down below, and I'd love to have a conversation with you about it. And I'll see you guys in a couple of days. I apologise once more for not making many videos, but I'm going to be back now doing some more. Yeah, so hope you guys have a great new year, and I'll see you in the new year. So thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, the Thetcglover is out.